Is this a video game panel? Is that what it says in the program? Is this a video game panel? That doesn't matter. I mean, you guys don't care.
I had to put my hoodie on because my armpits are sweating.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I didn't want you guys to see it.
Don't touch it. Right, so we recently did a very cool PS4 game called Infamous Second Son. Hence the beanies.
Yes.
A la Delson Rowe. How many PS4 owners do we have in the hizzy? Nice. Any Xboners? Xbox Oneers? 2 hands. You've got 2 of them apparently.
Old school Xbox 360.
Who has PS3?
Let's do the PS3s.
Well, the future is coming in the next gen ones, but it's kind of hard to own it because there are only a couple games right now.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that are out, especially Second Son, look freaking gorgeous though.
Yeah.
1080 is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
We had a great time doing it. We got to do full performance capture.
Yes.
Laura played.
Fetch.
What's your nickname?
That's my nickname.
What's your real name?
Abigail Walker.
And what do you do?
I'm kind of a superhero in my own way. I'm called a conduit.
You have powers, don't you?
I do. I have neon powers, so therefore I can run really fast and shoot lasers through you. Look. Travis, however, did not have any superpowers.
Such crap.
He had a gun.
All I want is powers in my characters. That's all I want. Nothing.
You've got enough characters with superpowers.
Not enough! Never enough! Reggie Rowe, I'm the brother of the lead character. I'm a sheriff. I have a pistol. And I magically shoot people in their stupid faces. Yeah, but it takes place in Seattle. It's a really awesome game. What other performance capture games have we done in the last year?
Performance capture?
Yeah, like mocap games.
Lost Planet 3.
Yeah. Knack. Did you play Knack?
Wii?
1 hand, 2 hands, nice.
No, that wasn't on the Wii. That was on the PS4. I know that. It's on the PS4.
Right. The Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1. We've done a lot. It's hard to remember. We did.
Yeah.
And a lot are coming out.
And a lot of stuff that's not performance capture, like World of Warcraft, League of Legends,
Oh, yeah.
Soda,
Blaze Blue. Is this guy? What is that?
this guy. Wait, help us, because I already know Skyrim.
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem. Sorry. Final Fantasies.
We should get on IMDb, because I can't remember. Tails! I'm racist.
Oh, Tails and stuff. Yeah.
Tails and...
Street Fighter, the Sonic the Hedgehog games.
That's right, Sonic.
Oh, Grousey Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, yeah, Saints Row.
Saints Row. Catherine. Catherine.
Evil 6.
Are you looking up yourself right now?
I am, actually.
Soul Calibur 5.
Lego Batman.
Oh, Lego Batman. Lego Marvel Superheroes. DBZ, yeah, the DBZ games.
Batman Arkham Origins. Skylanders.
Yeah, who plays Skylanders? Anybody?
Dynasty Warriors.
Minecraft.
The Last of Us. Bioshock Infinite. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 3.
Oh, you said The Last of Us, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Mass Effect 3. Halo 4. There's a long list.
We do a lot of games.
How do they even have time to do anything else?
We also play a lot of games. She's more of the RPGer, and I'm more of the shoot people with 2 hands sticking out at the bottom of the screen.
I like to talk to people and then make out with them. That's the kind of games I like to play. Yes. Soccer Wars, Kenny Simmons.
What was the name of the guy that I was jealous of in Dragon Age because you were swimming so much?
Alistair.
That son of a bitch. Man.
He's so dreamy. I played it through twice and I made out with him on both games. But
Not cool, man.
the second time through, I was kind of promiscuous. I made out with everybody.
You're like a hooker? Hooker?
No, I just.
Oh, excuse me, a
people
lady
lot.
of the night?
I was very frightened. Thank you.
She really had a crush on this guy. It was
I really
slightly
did.
alarming.
Yeah. And then we found out he's with the same agency as us, and I was like, oh my god.
You never told me that. Oh, so you've been having a lot more auditions at the agency, huh? He must die.
No. Should we open the floor up to questions, or should we keep talking?
Yeah, we can open up the floor to some questions. I don't know. I don't think so. Are you going blind? Yeah, we'll open up the thing to some questions. Do we want to like run one of these mics out to the middle of the floor kind of a thing, or you just want to pick them out of the audience?
I say we pick them out of the audience.
Do it then. Pick with your mad beanie skills.
Yesterday, I established an amazing method for picking people in the audience, which was hold up something cool. That way I can name the item that you're holding. And it makes it easier. What? Lightsaber. Right there.
So, my question to both of you would be, when you're doing a line for video games, it's not necessarily a smooth narrative, not necessarily a scene, just sort of something that ends in a vacuum. How do you know how to say it?
How do you know how to say lines in a video game if that particular recording session isn't recorded in a narrative fashion, meaning things are out of order? You trust your director a lot. One of the things I said yesterday is that some games, you'll have, like 500 to 2,000 lines, but you won't ever see anybody's lines around yours. Sometimes you just go down the page and just record it. And you really have to trust your director that you're saying them correctly, because you don't have the benefit of knowing what's going on around you.
Yeah, sometimes you'll ask to see the line that came right before it, which they have to look for sometimes, because normally it'll just be your character and it's like, just straight down all the lines in the game, and they together mean absolutely nothing. It's just completely random. So you'll be like, that sounds good. How about we did it? And you're like, okay, so what was I saying that sounds good to? So they'll go and look for it, and then it'll give you a little bit of reference.
Yeah. Most video games do not record like that. Most video games are told like a story. You see the script in front of you, and you see everybody's lines around you. And sometimes, like on Infamous, we got to record in the booth together outside of the mocap stage. So that's why I feel like that particular game, the dialogue felt very natural, is because like the phone conversations, we were standing together to record all of those things. Yeah. It makes a difference.
That helps a lot. A lot of the times, when you don't get the reference or you don't know what's ahead, in the game, if it sounds like someone's talking at one level and then all of a sudden somebody answers at this very different level, that's because they had no idea what was coming before, otherwise they wouldn't have done it. And when we play those as gamers, we're like, oh, come on. Sound like I'm deaf in my left ear. Yeah. Oh, I get to pick.
So many cool items.
I see. Oh, this is good. I see a ace cowboy, like an ace hat. Yeah, in the back. I'm prejudiced.
If either of you could have one power, ability, or knowledge of any character from a video game or anime that you acted in, what would it be?
That's a lot of characters.
It has to be one that we played. It does have to be one that we played. I always like saying vulnerability, because then I can jump off of really tall things.
Superman?
Oh yeah, he's nigh invulnerable. He died. Spoiler. It's like in the 90s. Deal. Yeah, I'd be invulnerable, because then I could climb up to the top of buildings or like mountains and jump off. Be like, ah! Boom! Like freak out everybody on the ground when I just jump up and I'm like, what's up?
I like the recommendation of the boss in Saints Row up here. She could time travel there at the end of the game.
Ooh, really?
I'll take that.
That's a good one. Yeah. Time travel's good.
And she can drop kick. Like
Your pick.
Mountain Dew bottle.
You could be a tree. What tree? Question yesterday.
Damn you, charlatan!
Okay, what's your actual question?
Sony, Nintendo, or Microsoft?
I ain't even going there. Because they all hire us and I want them all to continue hiring us.
We love them all. I'm kind of disappointed there's like no underwear being covered. Just saying, people have expectations in this world. I promise.
So when it comes to like two main types of video games, like RPGs and fighting games,
Well, everything goes back down when somebody's asking a question. So the people
Save your
behind
shoulders.
you can see.
so when it comes to the two main types of video game genres, like RPGs and fighting games like Blade and Guilty Gear, which would you say is more difficult to do in terms of one that relies much more on dialogue and one that relies more on like groans and grunts and like more non-verbal things? Like,
Right.
more of a challenge.
League of Legends is real. You know, you get these. You'll get a line breakdown, and all of the sentences are like 5 words or less. So it's like, "I am here. Death is waiting for you. I am coming to destroy you. You will not survive." So you're just like, this is so bizarre because you don't know why you're saying it. Someone's like done something, and you're like, "I am the baddest. Your face is applesauce." And, you know, it's like so you have no context for anything. You literally just go down the line, and it's almost harder for a director because they all sound so much the same that they try and direct you, and you're like, you know, "Death wings are all up in your grill." And they're like, "Could you say it more mean?" "Death wings are all up in your grill."
Can you make it sound less like the applesauce line?
Yeah, right. Because they all kind of sound the same, so they start to run together, and you try to make them a little bit different when you can, but it's a tall order. RPGs are really a lot easier because it's more of a story. There's more. The dialogue tends to be more natural-ish. I mean, in Skyrim, every line you say has like 4 words you've never heard of before. You know, you're like, "The Red Guard are going to the Flagaplu."
Unless you play Skyrim and it's all very familiar to you when you go in to record the session.
No.
I agree with him. RPGs, I kind of prefer recording because it's less vocal strain. You know, fighting games, you know when you're going in for a fighting recording session that you're going to come away with like hamburger throat. It just feels like raw and disgusting. Yeah, raw hamburger throat. That's what I call it. Because it feels like you're chunky in your throat because you just screamed your guts out. I know, it's disgusting. And role-playing games, you know, are more dialogue-based and you get to do more like acting in them and everything. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
We're actors. Whoa. Look, they're like sensing the end of the answer and everything. Put it down. We're not done yet. I had something to add to that. Okay, next question.
Didn't you chose the last person?
Yeah, I want the...
No, I'm choosing. You chose Elizabeth.
Oh. Very nice, Elizabeth.
I choose, whatever that stuffed animal is, the white stuffed animal. Is that a llama? What is that? I know. Oh, wait. Okay, go.
All the time.
Embarrassed? You feel embarrassed?
No, I mean, it's not embarrassed, but you're like, "Oh my god."
Oh, well, certain things, yeah.
Spinning bird kick!
Alright.
Feel my
But
wind.
sometimes it feels really awesome, like in Saints Row. I feel super cool when I play that game, because there's no way that I could actually kick through somebody's windshield and knock them out of a car, and then drive over them and then get back out and steal their money. But I can in the games.
That's true.
I don't think you steal money in Saints Row, do you?
Street Fighter is one of the hard ones because you're saying, you know, like somewhat iconic lines like "Sonic Boom," and they had you say it once, and that was it. You're like, "Oh wait, can I do it again?" My God, it's kind of an important line, but you know, somebody in battle is going to make that happen. So you're like, "Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom," Sonic, oh my god, I sound terrible. And then the worst is the dying at the end, because when you win in Street Fighter, the person that's losing is doing that like slow motion flyback thing. They're like, okay, so we need your death excerpt, but it needs to be like 4 seconds long. Like, nobody dies for 4 seconds. So they're usually just like, gah! Like, now we need 4 seconds. You're like, so like, if there was video of that, that would be priceless. You see everybody going, those are always fun. Death by fire or death by electrocution is always fun to hear in the game, because you just sound like a madman, like a fool.
Fire blows your voice out. Electrocution, everybody's got their own method for being electrocuted. See, that's what most people, they lock their hands together and they go, although most games now, like if you're dying in like Last of Us by being electrocuted, they don't want to hear, they want to hear like,
horrible. Yeah, they're like, it's just awful. in Kodacha, whenever she had her like, she had a little thing that would vibrate her hands, so I always held on. Nice. Did you ever do
But
too
that
hard?
hurts your throat after a while. It's better.
I think it's a little sensitive. You might not.
Yeah, I know, right? What a dumb.
You live and learn.
Oh.
No. Easy.
Oh, I asked the last.
Next question. It's your turn.
Oh, is it me? Giant stick of doom right here.
Okay, so I've kind of gotten used to when I'm asking this to other actors that performance capture is a real pain in the ass, and in your own opinions, is that the case? And are the
No, it's totally worth
performance
it.
capture.
Yeah, there's two types of animation in games where they're trying for realism. There's either performance capture, where they capture all the data on the person, whether it's the body or the facial movements
Or everything at once.
all three,
Including your
or
voice.
they do hand key animation, which means that they're literally one frame at a time having to move the person through the scene. And it always looks a little bit more stilted, it always looks a little less natural, and it just doesn't have that realism that performance capture gives. So with the technology that they have now, we're really getting to see really nuanced, really subtle, very impactful performances, and it's letting actors really go for it in video games in a way that some of the actors aren't even used to. You get people that haven't done performance capture before, and they're like, oh, this is just kind of big and vague and general. And a lot of the times the people that have done it before are like, no, treat it like film, like really go for it in the scene, don't hold back. Cause
You can't treat it too much like film, because some people come over from film, and on camera, there's a really subtle way of acting that's like all through your eyes. So a lot of actors when you're just staring at them and you don't see them on film, they look like they're almost dead in the face, like they're doing nothing. But when you get it on camera, it's like their eyes are so alive that it's these emotional, amazing performances. But on motion capture or performance capture, you don't capture the eyes, so the face has to be doing something a little bit more. So it's an in-between film acting and theater acting. And when you're on the stage, most things aren't there. You're imagining everything around you, so you have to have kind of that grand imagination.
Shared imagination.
Yeah.
The one thing they're doing for facial capture now, if you can think about, if you've ever seen a picture of the muscles in the human face, they try to either put a black dot or a small BB-sized reflective marker on certain parts of your face, and then sometimes those dots or BBs can number 89 all over your face, and they're trying to get every little muscle or tendon that would cause your face to move or create an expression. So when then that moves, that part of the face moves digitally as well. So every tiny little smirk or a blink or when you raise your eyebrow or whatever, that's what they're trying to capture, so that it's not just that like face that's talking and doing this, and then maybe the eyebrows go up or whatever. They catch like every little thing. So
It's a really long process when they're figuring out where all those dots go, because it's just hours of them telling you, okay, raise your eyebrows, lower your eyebrows. Raise your eyebrows, lower your eyebrows. Okay,
One
now
eyebrow?
bring the start of your mouth up, bring it down, bring it up, bring it down. And they have to find where every muscle moves so they can find your marker placement as opposed to his marker placement. It's crazy.
Cool. You look like Hellraiser coming down.
Yeah.
Next question.
Oh, it's my turn. I see a book, a blue book. Yes, that one. Is that Zelda?
Yes.
Awesome.
Do you have any tips or tricks for when you're doing strenuous lines or voices?
Tips or tricks for when we're doing strenuous voices? Like things to preserve your voice, sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of different methods.
There's a lot of different methods. One of mine that I usually do is I'll have kind of room temperature water as opposed to cold water in the booth. Cold water here is dandy.
I love cold
water's
water.
better.
I love cold water.
But in the booth, I feel like if it's like strenuous sort of stuff, then warm water is a little bit better because it keeps your vocal cords warm as you're doing it. It doesn't let them cool down. Because I feel like once mine cool down, then it hurts more when I have to get back into it. Like if I take a break after doing hours of doing trunks, battle lines, to get back in after that 5-minute break is just the worst thing ever. It feels like my throat's gonna fall out. But I usually take a sip in between every single line. I find that helps, and I put like honey in my water. That helps too.
I was trying to look up the thing that Fred has. There's this Chinese, like, duck sauce elixir that's made of baby kittens. And it is the thickest, goopiest.
Super thick. It's like the medicine in Mary Poppins.
But yeah, and it has like some kind of menthol taste, and we don't really know what it's made of, but if your throat is on fire and it's falling apart,
It's super soothing.
yeah, it actually works.
And Fred Tatasciore, I mean, he plays the Hulk. He does like monster voices like no other person. And he tears his voice up every single day. So he has to find a really, true way to keep it intact.
Oh, there it is. Oh, no, that's Scotch.
Next question. Do I get to pick again because you're looking
Yeah,
at
do it.
I like the blue visor thingy. Yeah.
Do you ever catch yourself when playing the video games you started? Do you ever catch yourself like trying to do the line better while playing?
Yes. Good question. Yeah, totally. Like, well, we do takes, right? So sometimes it's one take wonder, maybe you'll do 2, or maybe you'll do 12, right? And sometimes you'll have loved what you did on the 3rd or the 6th or the 7th take, but they want something different, and you try and copy it, but it doesn't happen quite right. So whatever happens in the game or ends up in the game, it might not be your favorite take. And you're like, no. And then you're silently in there, like repeating everything you say, doing it better, And you'll hear Laura upstairs going, "Are you talking to yourself?" Maybe. Yeah, it happens. We judge ourselves a lot. Look at all these people tweeting us.
Right now?
Jess Lambert. What's up? Kevin Gomez. This is good. Derek Franklin. These are the most meekest yell outs. I want to hear someone go bonkers. Jay.
Yeah!
Dara Yee. Woo! Molly. Jory Teshima. Pipes of
These are all
Awakening.
people that tweeted while we're in here?
Amy Pond.
You guys are awesome. Yeah.
Oh, it's you again. Okay, that's cool. Sorry.
All right.
Thanks for making my crotch vibrate. Inappropriate. Yes, right here.
Does that ever get weird if you guys seem to keep getting cast in so many roles where you kind of think you're trying to kill each other so much?
Isn't that so weird? Why does that happen?
It's a battle royale at our house every night. Like when I come home, she's in the living room with a big sai and a katana. I come in and grab the bow staff. We throw down. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's really strange. I don't understand why we're always enemies in things that we do.
Yeah, why are you always making out with Troy Baker? It's so great. It's so great. Can I tell the story? So on Infamous, Second Son, right? We're all doing performance capture, so we've got the stupid suits covered in reflective balls.
Spandex, terrible, unflattering.
This big helmet cage. It's like a helmet with these huge, large metal arms with 4 cameras on them that are sticking in your face. So when you have to kiss or make out with someone, you obviously, if the cameras are sticking out this far in your face, you're like.
So the first time you film it, you have to pretend that you're kissing them instead of actually, so they can get all the body capture. So you're like. And then they take your helmet off off, they take the antlers off, and you actually have to like.
And the best part was that it was Troy and Laura, who were like brother and sister, obviously, because Troy's one of my best friends, and they were so uncomfortable about it. So I would run.
And Travis is on set that day.
I would run on stage and jump out from behind the curtain and go. So I'd be like, stop! If you get all intimate, jump back out and go. Maybe some other things, but we won't.
Yeah.
Next question.
No, it's my turn.
You picked 2 in a row. Yes. Funk Master Flex. Okay. The M16 in here.
If you could choose one fictional world to be put into and play as the main character, which one would it be?
Ooh, one world of fiction to be put into and play as the main character.
Gosh.
Mother of God.
Really, most video games, like if you actually lived in them, would suck. Really hard.
Well, there'd be parts that suck. I mean, if you're like the king of the world, it's not bad. Until they try and kill you.
You have to be the main character. They're always struggling.
I don't know if the Marvel world was real and I could be Thor and have a badass hammer. A hammer in the moment.
But that's. Can I just like? I was gonna say Fable because you get to change your clothes and people follow you around like you're cool. But
If you're a rogue, you can pick locks.
different in Fable.
Oh, sorry. Different rules. Good question, though.
Yeah, I gotta keep thinking about it.
I might actually want the DBZ world to be real, because if you just scream loud enough, you're like,
You'd have to be Goku. You said you have to be the main character in the story.
maybe I got a crap load of sensu beans.
He could be Vegeta.
And maybe I got a tail. I turned into a giant monkey.
See, I kind of think Skyrim would be cool if I was a Dragonborn.
Yeah. Alright, I won't be Goku. That's crap.
Red shirt. You held it up right before we even said next question.
My question is for Travis.
What?
Sit down.
Travis likes original questions. So, one of your characters is riding into the sunset, riding another one of your characters.
Which characters would they be?
I feel like I don't even need to answer that question. It was so good. Like, your character is riding into the sunset, riding another one of your characters. Thank you. Was it going to be? Who was it going to be?
Yeah.
Well, maybe if Roy Mustang turned into a Mustang. Then Maury would be like, oh, fancy tuna. That's not cheating. It's my world of fantasy. Your rules mean nothing.
I'm gonna go with the. Oh wait, I went with the last.
Bleach t-shirt.
I was gonna say Bleach t-shirt.
What do you guys think of Titanfall?
Oh, Titanfall. I played it. You have it. She saw it though.
I did. I watched him and I was like, oh, I want to be playing that right now.
It's good. I wish the campaign mode wasn't entirely online, just in case you don't really feel like playing a bunch of 7-year-olds. They're gonna kick your ass. And that's what happens. No, seriously, you get online and there's like somebody who talks like this, and they're just schooling you.
Maybe they're a girl.
Maybe they are.
When we play online, we sound like little boys over those headsets, so everybody always assumes we're a 10-year-old boy kicking your butt, but really we're just a girl kicking your butt.
Are you saying that women kick my butt when I play it all the time?
Yes. or little boys, either one.
That's true.
They
That's
all
true.
kick your butt.
I think it's really cool. I like the game dynamics a lot. It's cool. It's your turn. I'll pick the t-shirt.
What about the barrel in the back? The big barrel on a stick? Is that a hammer?
It looked like
Well, our eyesight sucks.
I didn't know you guys had Street Fighter voices. What's your favorite person to voice in the Street Fighter work that you play?
What's our favorite character to play as?
No, voice.
Oh, well, I voice Guile and she voices Chun-Li.
So my favorite voice to do is Chun-Li.
My favorite voice is
And instead of hugging your friend, let's just hug each other. Don't do that.
It's important to note also that we have tried to play Street Fighter 4. We were very excited to play as ourselves, so we put it on easy, and I think died after the second person, and never made it past the guy with the.
And then when we tried to actually fight each other, it was just like standing against the opposite sides of the room. And
Yep, two totally blind people jumping around, drunk. We're like flipping over each other. Like, Hadouken! It's going like that way, she's over there.
Really
What's the guy's name with the yin and yang circle in his stomach? Yeah, I never beat him. We literally suck.
What's the guy that just gets down and does the electrocution thing? Blanca, that's all I did.
That's all she does.
Him and I just, that's so angry at me because I would just get on the ground and keep electrocuting.
Yeah.
It was really bad. It was a bad experience.
Makes us feel old and incompetent. The box that you're holding up, it's red. Yep, that. You.
If you do games, do you have to match flaps like an anime, or is it easy? No, you don't have to do that. You have to match flaps. You like change the animation and match your flaps?
Not normally, because there's a finite budget for making something that's already been made in Japan.
That's specific to Japanese games, obviously. But.
Sometimes we will match flaps for animated cinematics if it's a Japanese property, but a lot of the times what they do is they'll record the exact amount of time that a line goes. So you'll see like 9 words in a sentence, and they're like, that's 3.7 seconds. And so the first time you read it, like, that was 4.1. Like, you do it again, like, it's 3.5. We need 3.7. You're like, mother.
I'll literally say you were 0.2 seconds too long, so can you just 0.2 seconds faster? Okay.
Or you can stretch it. You digitally stretch it.
Yeah, but like in Final Fantasy, some of that was recorded to picture, and in some of like the Persona cutscenes, we'll do that to picture as well.
Otherwise, we don't usually get to see anything like our Fire Emblem characters. We had no idea what they looked like when we recorded them. I had no idea.
No. I had an idea because I had to do timing to one of the cutscenes when she like zooms in and then goes zoom.
Ain't you fancy? They keep me in the dark. Like, don't show him. We show the lot. Next question.
Oh. The star backpack, star bag, and the sword. You have 2 items. You win.
Okay, so that Laura doesn't feel left out.
Thank you.
What was it like to work on Resident Evil 6?
It was really great. I love killing dead people. See, they totally thought it was you.
They totally did. Just close your eyes. It sounds just like me. It was cool. It was crazy. I sort of touched on yesterday with Resident Evil 6. I didn't do the motion capture. Somebody else did the full body capture. But then I went in afterwards and did the facial capture in addition to the voice work for it. So that was interesting because what you have to do is match your facial expression and your facial movement with whatever they did in the scene. So if she bends down, looks up, and then goes like that, I have to, while I'm doing it, move my head as she did when she bent over, and then look up at the same time. You only have like this much space to move your head in, so the cameras can capture it. And at the same time you're doing that, you're watching the monitor with her movements, and then you also have to look at the monitor for your line. It was a crazy complicated
It's very
process.
hard. Very hard.
But, I mean, yeah, it was Frankenstein recording for sure, but I feel like that was some of the most crazy scenes I've had to do, like the scenes when her sister got dragged away and everything. It was a really intense recording process. I really loved it.
Next question. Yes, right here.
What was your favorite voice acting?
Favorite story from the booth. Yes. Aaron.
Who's Donut Boy?
Aaron, he shoved. Oh no, it was Vic that shoved all the
Why
donuts.
is Vic called Donut Boy?
The donut store. Oh, okay. And so like all the donuts got soggy or something? I think I was in the room once when we told that story.
Oh.
Sounds really gross.
I like to be really dirty. Where's Donut Boy? We needed a boo, Vic. What?
You guys have Dunkin' Donuts here, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
I'm so jealous.
Next question. With the little. Oh, I picked last time, didn't
You were gonna pick the spinning hat, weren't you?
No.
Oh, well, I choose the spinning hat.
I got a question for Travis. I'm sorry. This is the next one.
I? Air high five me. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Particularly Knuckles, what do you think of the Sonic Boom design? Redesign?
Right. I actually really like the Sonic Boom designs. I know a lot of people are like, no, heresy. It looks terrible. Well, I don't feel the same way. I kind of like that Knuckles is like this big, beefy jock dude that never does leg day in the gym. Which is kind of awesome. The character has also changed dramatically. He's extremely funny now.
He's extremely funny because I voice him.
There you go. But yeah, I really like it. I think it's kind of a sporty look, and everything has to evolve and go through, evolutions and change as it goes along. And I think people are really going to like it once they see it. All people have to go on right now is the character art, and so I know they're like, no, my eyes burn. But when you see it in motion, it's pretty freaking sweet. Just gonna say, and not just because I'm in it. No. But seriously. Yes, right here, what's you do?
My question is actually technically like a two-part question.
Oh my God.
It's basically the same concept. What's it like to do a video game when originally it's an anime, or you're part of the anime and you're first being introduced to your character in the video game? And also, what's it like for some games where it's originally a video game, but then it was turned into an anime?
Right. Yeah, it's.
She asked, in case you couldn't hear, she asked, what's it like going from a game that's turned into a video game, or an anime that's turned into a video game, and vice versa, what's it like going from a video game turned into an anime?
Full Metal Alchemist, we actually recorded the very first video game before we ever did this series. So it can be a little wacky because you're setting up the voice of a character that's going to be in a lot of episodes to come for the first time. So it's kind of the same process that you have when recording a show. You have to establish a voice print, or establish what the character's going to sound like. Like for me, the first line I had as Mustang was in the game, and I'm walking into somewhere where Edward's fighting, and the line was, "Looks like you could use a hand, Full Metal." And I was really, really excited to be in the first video game I had ever done, and so it came out, "Looks like you could use a hand, Full Metal!" And Chris Sabat was directing, he's like, no. How about that suck, take 2? Okay. So, bring it down. So we had to establish what he sounded like. And then for the Persona games.
Persona games were actually kind of crazy because we recorded so much of the games, and then we went to do the anime, and it was kind of going back to the beginning with our characters, so I had to relive a lot of the same moments that we'd already touched in the game. Is that the way it was, or did I just make up that answer completely?
Nobody cares. Yeah! I think that's right.
Yeah, I think it was right. We did, yeah. So.
White bag with the stringy on it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a bag, it was together.
It's got Totoro on it.
Oh, a white Totoro bag.
So in the anime, sometimes we get a blooper reel that is in addition to some of the content. But video games don't always get that. So what are some mistakes that you've made that you just think, oh, I can't believe I did that?
So much.
That's a lot. The first 4 years of our anime careers are that entirely.
Yeah, but in video games, do you have any oh gosh, we record so many lines that they just take out.
Sometimes you'll record, you'll do a line, and you're like, in your head, you're like, oh, that's crap. But before you can say anything, you're like, okay, moving on. You go, no. Oh, okay.
I kind of have a bad habit of, I cuss a lot in a booth without meaning to. I really do. So a lot of times, I have a certain chain of words that I always say I can't say it.
Wait, raise your hand if you're under 18. Oh, with this room, it's fine. Come
No,
on.
it isn't. No, it isn't. No, because there's so many cameras and that's
That's
like
true. That's true. No,
Say
we can't. We're actors. It's our job. If we, yeah.
But I don't even mean to say these things, and it comes out, and so it's always shocking to like. If I was doing like voice matching for Tinkerbell.
At Disney.
After a while, I actually trained myself to not do it, but I did end up saying, "Oh, jingles." And I would mess up.
Middle of Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Bleep, 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 bleep. Bunch of faces are
I'm
just
sorry.
Wow, that's creative. Nice alliteration there. Next question. The Flying Nightwing t-shirt. You gotta, Now everybody's gonna start throwing shit. Everybody's gonna get in the head.
Oh, we've only got a few minutes left. This is the last question.
Oh, wow, really?
The shirt is the last question.
A conversation where I'm Mustang and she's Lust? You're pretty hot.
I know.
So, do you want to go on a date later tonight, or?
How much money you got?
I got like a $5.
Yeah.
Tell you what, if this date doesn't work out, I can show you my snapping skills. Or not.
Come on, baby. Light my fire.
Say yes to this date or I'll kill you again. We have panels tomorrow and a very nice long autograph session tomorrow. We can't sign anything for you now. We actually have to clear the room for the next thing that's coming in. But thank you so much, guys, for waiting. Your questions. You guys are awesome. Enjoy your Saturday at Acen.